Hey friends, it's Mari here for Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to be using the Barn Scene Builder honey cuts today, as well as the Way to Goat stamp and companion honey cuts to create my project. I'm going to start off my project today by cutting out all of the different cardstock shapes that I'm going to be needing. So I've cut out the barn already, and I just cut it from some red cardstock. I'm just showing you the center there. I'm just using the peak of the roof to identify the center of the barn, and I'm going to actually cut out the door for the barn on three sides using this die. And I want the card to be a little bit interactive, so I want my barn doors to be able to open. So I'm going to just cut this on three sides and leave that fourth side to score. So I'm just leaving that area of the die hanging off the edge of my platform here, so you can see that it doesn't cut that one line on that die. So I've got just three sides cut so that I can score where I want that door to fold and open. And I'm sorry for the light here. I don't know what happened. If I guess I forgot to turn my lights on for this section. Sorry about that. So you can just see that I have created a score line there for my barn door to open. Now I did that exact same process for the other door. So I've got a double door here, and I used the die from the Barn Scene Builder to use the die to create this white crisscross for the detail on my doors, on my barn doors. So I'm just going to glue those onto my two barn doors, which are going to be able to open and close. Now I did use the circle die from the die set to create that window at the top, and I used the little circle frame that's part of those dies to create a little white frame for the inside of my little window. And I also used the little window box and the little haystack to create some little detailed embellishments there for that little window area. Now I'm going to use some liquid adhesive, and I cut the barn out a second time with that same red cardstock. I'm going to glue my two barn pieces together here because I want to have a little bit of a scene on the inside where my barn doors are going to open. So got those all nicely glued together there, and I'm ready to continue with the rest of the details for the card. So now my little barn doors will open, and I'm going to have a little bit more of, I'm going to have a little critter inside of there. So this is the barn roof trim, and this is a separate die from the Barn Scene Builder set. And I'm going to get a little bit of liquid adhesive on there and glue that on so that it's just a really nice white trim on my roof. So on my roof line, love how that looks. I love the combination of the white and red. One thing that you can do to add some details to your barn as well is you could just put score lines to create little panels to indicate maybe boards, the barn boards, and you could just do that with your scoring tool. So there's my little window. I've got the little frame on there, and now I'm going to just put that little window box, which I've cut from some just some brown cardstock. There's the yellow cardstock with that little hay, and that's going to be my little window up top. So I didn't go with the traditional loft and the square loft opening there. I just thought it would look neat with that circle, and then there's going to be lots of room up there for my sentiment. Now I'm just taking some Memento Tuxedo black ink. I am stamping these little images from Way to Goat on some 80-pound Neenah Solar White cardstock. I've done some really simple coloring off camera. I did use my Copic markers, but you could use anything, any coloring tool that you have in your stash that you love to color with. I'm using the dies from Way to Goat to cut out my critters and my flowers, all the little things that I'm going to be using to build my little scene for my barn here. So I've got a little pig, I've got a little bunny and one of the goats and a couple of little florals here. I'm going to pop my critters up on some foam adhesive and glue those, stick those down to my barn doors. And I'm just going to tuck those little floral pieces in behind them and glue those down or stick those down with a little bit of tape runner. And I will do exactly the same thing to that little bunny that I did with the little pig, just using a tiny little bit of foam adhesive to pop the bunny up. And I did cut the windmill as well, and I cut that windmill from some silver metallic cardstock. That's some Ranger cardstock that I used, and I am going to glue the windmill over to the side. And I just like how this just gives this a really authentic look. I think it's a really cool detail. I love the scene builder set. I think it's so super cool. And there's so many things that you can do with it. There's little fence pieces and there's hay bales and a bunch of other pieces that I didn't use for this particular project. Now the fan part of the windmill, I did pop up on some glue dots. And now on the inside of my my little barn here, I've got a couple of hay bales. I'm popping one up on some foam adhesive, and I am going to put some foam adhesive on my little goat here. And I'm going to kind of maneuver around here and get that goat stuck in there where I want him to go on the inside of my barn. So then you open it up and there's the little goat. My sentiment is going to be hey there, and then on the inside kid. I thought that was really cute, and so I'm going to pop the hey there sentiment on some foam adhesive and put that above my barn doors on the outside of my card. And then I'm going to adhere the word kid inside where the goat is. I think that's genius, that little phrase. I think it's so cute, and this would be a really adorable card for a young person. I think it's just really cute, and or an older person. I guess it doesn't really matter, but anyways, it's super cute. I love how that's interactive in that way. Now you could use this as a single layer card and just right on the back, or you could use it as a top folding card as well. So you could achieve that by just scoring the top of the roof of the barn there, putting a little bit of super sticky adhesive. This is some tape, some double-sided really sticky tape here, some Be Creative tape. Just going to put a little tiny bit there up at the top, and I'm going to really burnish that with my finger, take the release paper off of that, and then stick that card onto there. That will not come off. It is really sticky. And then I'm just going to take my ruler and fold that where I've just created that little fold. And now that's the basic gist of this card. So now I'm going to just take an extra hay bale and a little bit of that fence, and I'm going to glue that onto the inside to finish the inside of my card a little bit. I'm going to use some Nuvo glaze to create the glass for my window up top. So I'm just going to put that down and let that dry. And I'm also going to use my Nuvo shimmer pen to create a little bit of sparkle and shine on my little pig and my bunny. And I'm also going to use my white gel pen and my black glaze pen to add some details to both the bunny and the pig as well. And just going to finish that up, and I just like how this Nuvo shimmer pen really adds some nice detail. I believe I'm also using some stickles today because I couldn't resist, and I'm going to use those in a few places. I'll show you that here in a minute or two. I realized I forgot to color my little pig's tail, so I just took a little bit of pink marker and did that. Now this white gel pen is just going to add a few little highlights here and there. I just like to add that detail. It's just subtle, but I think that it's always nice to add a little bit of detail to the card at the end when you're just finishing up. And so I'm just going to put those little highlights down here and there. And I think I'm going to use my black. Oh, I'm going to add the stickles here. So now I'm just taking some Stardust stickles, and I'm adding those stickles to the center of the flowers on the left, and just a few little dots of sparkle to the tulips that are on the right behind the bunny. And I think that's going to be it for the stickles. Not too much, just a tiny little touch of sparkle there. And I really love using the black glaze pen. I like using that on the eyes of my little critters because it adds some shine to them, and it also adds dimension because that glaze actually dries, adding a little bit of a bump. And I just think that looks cool. And I also added a couple of eyelashes to my pig and my little bunny as well. So I'm just adding that glaze on there. And this card I'll just just about be finished up here. So I'm going to show you the close-up details and a still shot here. Make sure you check the description box down below for all of the the products that I used today for my project. I will leave links there for you, and I will also leave a link to the Honeybee shop so you can go over and check out all of the fun products. Everything that I used here is part of the new release, and I love this new release. It's just so chock full of really cool and fun products. So there you can see how my little card has finished up, how it can stand as a top folding card. And I had a lot of fun creating this. It was a blast, and I hope you check out these products in the store and consider making a barn card yourself. Lots of fun. Have an amazing day, guys. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you again here on the channel. Bye-bye.